The 2024 regular season is over and we are getting ready for the playoffs. But in the meantime, you have to extend this man as soon as humanly possible. What about the rest of the 2022 draft class? Let's break it down. Welcome back, everybody. This is RGR Football. I'm Ryan going rogue. See what the RGR is there? We are going to have a good time today because amidst all the chaos that we usually see this time of year where the Chiefs finish their regular season, they get the bye week, they go on to the postseason. In between here, an interesting date is hit. Now, I want to go through it because this is what's on my mind this week. This is the breakdown show where whatever's standing out is what I'm going to give you because it's the truth. It's the real deal, exactly how I see it. And that's what you're here for, I hope, anyway. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. If you don't know me, I've been covering this team over 15 years, former strength and conditioning coach, been on podcasts forever. You can see me on all kinds of outlets, including ESPN and CBS and everywhere. Check out Locked On Chiefs as well. That is my other daily driver. This is really key because this class, as you're going to see, as I put up here on the screen, is unique. This is arguably the best draft class that Brett Veach has had yet. And that's the hard part, to tell you the truth, because there are plenty of guys on here that are deserving. There are some that are not, but we're going to go through rung by rung by rung, and it is going to be very difficult to make a lot of these extensions, but you have to do what you have to do. We're going to start with job number one. The man at the top of the list is Trent McDuffie, all pro, cover anybody, do it all, even started to get turnovers now. That changes the whole paradigm. It really wasn't a question before, but it certainly isn't now. At your earliest possibility, you have to extend Trent McDuffie. They got into a situation where they got down the road enough with L'Jarius Sneed that they had to do things like franchise tags, and they ended up having to trade him and that kind of thing. No injury concerns here with Trent McDuffie. Nothing that makes you think that they don't want to move ahead right now. And every day that goes by, he starts to get more and more expensive. Now, these are extensions. These are add-ons to the current rookie deal. This is not a whole re-signing. This isn't starting from scratch. It is new money on existing contract, and that's what you're looking to do. Trent McDuffie, first-round pick. Yes, you have a fifth-year option on him, but the best way to get into the action is with BetUS and their deal with code YouTube150. You can start playing today with that exclusive offer. You can get into all the football that you want, whether it's this week's matchup for the Chiefs, whether it's getting into the season-long odds against Super Bowl, against the division. The Chiefs are heavily favored in a lot of those, but there are plenty of bets to be made. And you can do it all at BetUS, where you can get 150% of your deposit bonus up to 3 times and up to 2,000. Use YouTube 150 today at BetUS. I don't think that's worth using right now because for very, very simple reasons. If you can extend him now, you get him a year earlier at the end of the second contract when he's 28 years old. Maybe I had to look at his birth date, maybe 29, instead of if you wait it out and you use the fifth-year option and then you try to do an extension on a player that has done everything you've asked of him, has played exemplary, and is going to be the leader of this defense going forward, certainly already is at the cornerback position, then he gets more expensive. And he gets closer to that age where athletes start to fall off. So by doing it early and extending early and not using the fifth-year option, I think that buys them the core prime time of his career. Should he have injuries or something like that, you don't want to delay that an extra year. So I think top number one, got to go get Trent McDuffie. Now, I said on social media, and I will back it up, at least 3 guys in this draft class should be extended, in my opinion, that's best for the team. There are a couple of other options. You may not want to hear this, but George Karlaftis is the second player in this class that must be extended because he's done everything he's asked. He fits into the scheme that Steve Spagnuolo likes to run, and he does it in a very, very good way. He is, by every way, shape, and form, the Robin to Chris Jones's Batman. Right now, that's all you got. Charles Omenihu was going to be a free agent, so there is no choice down there. You would have to do a free agent deal with him, do an extension to try to bring him back. Would likely be more expensive. Maybe you can try to do that anyway, but you got to stick with the youth, and you got to give Chris a partner for always. Yes, you have to keep trying to add to that, But I think right now the second contract for George Karlaftis is probably a better deal, a safer deal than it is a third contract for Charles Omenihu, which I would like to still see done. But I think George has earned his keep and he needs to get extended as well. That's the two first-round picks that you got to get done. A very different year, right? That's going to be some cash. You move on to the second round, and that's where it gets a little bit iffy. Sky Moore has not done enough to earn himself a spot back. There's no fifth-year option because he was a second-round pick. Not going to return. I don't think he should be extended. I don't want to pound on him, but we haven't seen the development there that is worth it. Then it comes to Brian Cook, who I think has been a solid player. I think eventually you should extend him, but I don't think it has to be right this minute. He is a maybe. He's one of the three maybes that I have on this list because at the end of the day, I think it's worth it, but it's got to be about the market and it's got to be about how it fits into the longer term. We still look for a free safety on this roster that doesn't really exist. So keep that on the back burner. Doesn't have to be done now, but Brian Cook is one of the maybes. The other guy that I think you need to extend right now and keep on this roster, without doubt, is Leo Chenal. Again, another defender that is young, that will be, especially for his position and his play level, won't be breaking the bank, that you want to get in to the point that you can continue to develop him, that you can have another 4-year contract under there, and you don't get him into that 29 to 30 range before you have to make another decision. So I think earlier is better on Leo Chenal. I think he gives you everything that you need in terms of he's come a long, long way and improved his pass coverage better than I ever thought that he would be. He certainly is physical at the point. I love the 4-point stance as a fullback as well. He's giving you added value, and I think that's worth it right now for a group that has Nick Bolton coming up under contract, that Drew Tranquill is getting a bit older, and you don't have a whole lot beyond there. I think need at the position for both George Karlaftis and Leo Chenal is just a part of the factor that deserves an extension right now. That's very, very straightforward to me. Then it comes to a couple of question marks, and that is Joshua Williams has not played up to expectations. We knew he had a long way to go to get up to this level from where he was in college. It was quite an ask. He has played well at times, and I do think he should come back to the roster, but I don't feel that an extension is necessary for him right now. I think you get to the free agent period, you give him an offer that fits what you're looking for. You might even give him an exclusive rights eventually and try to secure a very low-end contract to keep him in the fold and let him keep developing. Obviously, Darren not on the roster, not associated with the team anymore. You can let that go. Maybe number two is Jalen Watson, because Jalen has been very, very good at times. And I think right now, as we go into his return, getting ready to lean up to the playoffs in 2025, he has solidified himself as the second most talented corner on this group in this roster right now. But he has had significant injury time out at this point. You want to think that he can continue to develop, but the injuries are a bit of a concern. So I don't think it has to be a right now, but I do think an extension for Jalen Watson is in the future. You keep that low. You don't have to go out to free agency. You continue to draft behind him. I think that is a formula for success. Then the two hardest parts of this class, and that's because they are the lower draft picks. One, Isaiah Pacheco has been great in what he's been asked to do. He has that oomph. He has that edge that he brings to the team. I would like to see him extended, but because of the position that he plays, I can't say that it has to be now. I would let the next year go by and then try to bring him back. The running back position is honestly too filled with injury, fatigue, and that wall, that cliff that they fall off of, that I don't know that it's worth doing right now. So let's give it a little bit more time, get a little bit more out of it. And I do think that he's still part of the future for the Kansas City Chiefs. I do want to see him back. Just doesn't have to be right now. And then the biggest question mark is probably Najee Johnson. Has had a rough go with injuries, has played well at times, has had some struggles as well. And I think he's another player that when it gets to the termination, the end of his rookie contract, should be a candidate to come back on what is a low-end, continue to develop type deal. I don't think it deserves an extension right now, but I do think he should continue to be in this team's plans as a depth corner. Obviously, there are going to be others. They're going to continue to draft. There's CRW out there that is going to play some snaps as well. Keith Taylor has been playing for them a little bit, but I do think Najee still has potential, and I do think that he is worth bringing back to the roster, just not as an immediate extension right now as the opening period begins for this class. So that's where I see it. What do you think? Who has to come back in your eyes? Who do you want back just because you like them? And what should happen first? That's what I'd like to know. Put your comments down in the YouTube sections on the comment section. I love seeing what you guys have to say. Thanks for being with us and joining us and being on this journey. It is a little bit of a low before the Chiefs kick off on their three-peat run in the playoffs. So don't miss a day of it. Dan with film, Gary with stats, me with the breakdown, all of our live streams. You can have it all the time just by clicking that sub button. Make sure that you do. And if you want that much more, join the memberships. You get my notes and the extra content and all the rants and all the real talk. You will get that as well. Thanks for being with us today. Have a great one. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.